What is going on, my power family, my power people? Thank you, guys. I missed y'all so much. So much has happened these last 4 weeks of power. I know. Hey, Kai, where's the episode 1 breakdown? Damn. Where's the episode 2 breakdown? Where's the episode 3 breakdown? Here we are, episode 4. Yo, Kai, give us something. Listen, I'm giving you all in one today, 1 through 4, power breakdown, episode by episode. Let's start from the top, shall we? Episode 1 picks up exactly where I thought it would. Monet Tejada in the hospital fighting for her life. Drew, Diana, Kane, Effie, Noma, Obi, all after Tariq. Obi, we'll get there. You got Junior Valdez, or Junior Young, nephew of Angela Valdez. Then you got Tariq and Braden on the run. Bro, so much was going on in episode 1. It was hard to keep up, but listen, it was action-packed episode 1, just like I expected. They're on the run. Their plan is to get, Tariq's plan is to get Anya, use her as leverage to get from under Noma trying to kill him. And I just don't see that working out. And exactly what I thought was going to happen happened. They were not able to get to Noma. They did kill 5 bodyguards, in the due process of that. Anya got away. And Tariq and Braden are stuck. What are they going to do? Interesting. So then you got, let's transition over to Mr. Junior Young. Rest in peace, because he is no longer with us in the show. Goes over and tries his best to press Tariq in the parking lot. And this scene did not go down the way I predicted in my predictions. I didn't see this coming. Noma put a bounty on Tariq and Braden's heads, which caused them to try to go on the run and get out of New York. Shout out to Davis McLean for looking out for them, giving them that information, because he did not have to. Earlier in that episode, he did tell Tariq, hey, young brother, stay safe, and dismissed him when he was having a menage. So, fast forward back to where we are. Junior Young presses Tariq. What does Tariq do? Well, let's get there. The assassin comes out of nowhere and starts shooting, trying to kill Tariq and Braden. They get out the way. Junior Young kills the assassin. Holy. But what happens after that? Tariq ends up getting Junior Young in a vulnerable position. No Diddy, because this sounds crazy. Gets Noma on the phone, basically tells her that this dude has everything on a chip that could end all of us. I can make it go away if you take the bounty off. Noma agrees to the truce with one exception. Tariq and Braden are out of the game. They can no longer sell and supply. Okay? They agree. Camera cuts off. Braden tells Tariq, go get the money, go call 911. I got a plan. Braden runs off. Tariq and Junior are at a standstill, right? With a gun. Junior tells him, what are you going to do? Kill a federal agent? Tariq then proceeds to tell him, your aunt's the reason why my family is ruined. And proceeds to send him to the upper room. Something I was not expecting in episode 1. Not at all. Tariq ends up looking like the hero. Says that he grabbed the officer's gun and killed the assassin, which is dead wrong. But here we are. Noma calls off the truce. Kane still wants to kill Tariq for thinking that he tried to kill Monet. He's not buying that Diana mistaken identity, and blamed Tariq as the shooter when it was somebody else, which then causes them to go back to the hospital, because guess who wakes up at the end? Monet, as she was fighting for her life. I'm not even going to divulge into that scene, because I just thought that whole thing was not that great. They could have did a better job. But I like that foreshadowing that they had her seeing her own dead body, saying she wasn't going to give up. Then she talks to Zeke, she talks to Lorenzo, she talks to Mecca. And then she wakes up at the end. Ask who shot her. Kane says they don't know, but they're looking. Episode ends. Rolling over now into episode 2. They pick up right where they left off in terms of storyline, but they fall off and dip in terms of action. Now, at the end of episode 1, we were introduced to this detective Don Carter, who runs his own drug task force. And this man is really on the hunt for drug dealers, okay? And he is trying to piece together Tariq. He's not buying the story of him shooting the assassin that killed Officer Young. He believes Tariq did it, which we all know the truth, right? And he's on the hunt for him. So, Tariq, you got to watch out, my boy. Of course, on campus, there's mixed emotions with Tariq, whether or not he actually is a hero or, something else happened. We get all past that. It rolls us over into a scene of Diana picking up a pregnancy test. Now, in my predictions, I had stated that, because I had missed it first on the trailer. Then I went back and watched, and I had said, listen, I believe she is pregnant. My predictions was it's either Salim or Tariq's, but we will get there later on, okay? We see Effie applying to an engineering program, etc., talking to a professor about it. She's excited. She wants to do it because, remember, she wants out of the game, right? And then we're going to roll over into Noma being a little suspect about how Obi got the green card for his brother. And Obi says, oh, we did what everybody else does, etc., this, that, and the third. Keep that in mind for what's coming later on down the road when I get into episode 3. Along in with episode 2, we see that Monet is recovering from now being out of the hospital, back at home. Aunt Janice is in the mix, taking care of her, making sure she's good. And we'll get into her character a little later. But like I said, I don't think she's going to be real pivotal, but you never know. Of course, we got the scene from when they're in class. They're talking. Now, what's interesting is afterwards, when Effie tries to let Tariq know, like, listen, I'm the reason why you're alive. I warned you that Kane was coming after you. He was on campus to kill you. Are we good? And Tariq's looking at her like, F no, we're not good. What are you talking about, man? Like, why would we be good after you did what you did? Oh, I didn't think no one was going to do that. Are you out of your mind, Effie? Like, yo, I cannot wait until Tariq kill her, man. I promise you. Anyways, moving on past that scene, man. Detective Don Carter popping up once again like Batman out of nowhere. Pulls up on Davis McLean, basically tells him, hey, man, we could work together to put some bad people away and no one got to know. And McLean's looking at him like, man, if you don't get the hell up out of my office with this nonsense, I don't work with police. And that's what people got to understand, man. Davis McLean, he might be a criminal defense lawyer, but he ain't no snitch. It don't mean that he about to turn an eye for an eye. Not in the slightest bit, but I still would look out for McLean. He's still a character that I'm like, he could always shift sides later on if it's in his best interest and suits him, right? We don't know. Moving on past that, back to Effie. Stepping up, trying to get Noma more clients by saying that she will go talk to the Russians for her and she will make the deal happen. Now, this is interesting because, like I said in the beginning, Effie is trying to look out for herself as per usual, and she wants out, but I don't think she's going to go out the way she thinks. Well, anyway, she secures the deal with the Russian when she promises to change the swim time for the daughter, and she said, hey, all you got to do is meet with her. That's all. He agreed, right? Brayden sparks a new love interest, which I will get into because this is where they talk about him flirting with a dangerous and reckless lifestyle, and I can kind of see where his path is headed after watching episode 4 last night. Now, the chick he's into is some singer chick. We don't really know much about her. I don't even know what the girl's name is, to be very honest with you. I just know that Brayden got it on for her. Now, it's interesting that Don Carter pulls up on Tariq out of one of his 3 jobs here because, remember, Tariq is working minimum wage now. And he agreed with Noma to stop selling the product, right? Carter basically pulls up on him, lets him know, like, listen, I got a feeling that you sent Agent Young to meet his maker real soon, and I'm going to put you where you belong. And it's interesting because he tells him, like, you even smell like your father. No code, no moral, just like him, etc. And I'm starting to believe that Don Carter knew James, Tariq's father. He knew Ghost. I'm starting to believe he knew him. I'm starting to really think they got some type of past because he's really going hard for Tariq. Like, for whatever reason he is. Anyway, moving along, man. Monet ends up messing up the whole deal with the Russians, passes out. Effie brings her home. It was just a shit show from the beginning. Tariq calls Don Carter to get the scoop Tariq calls McLean to get the scoop on Don Carter. He basically tells him, like, hey, man, keep your head on a swivel. This dude's dangerous. He ain't like the other cops, etc. McLean has obviously done his homework about Don Carter, which I think will be useful later on when we get to either episode 5 next week or we get to the second half coming in September, man. They're making us wait basically the whole summer. But, hey, we got a nice little cool-off period before we get into the final 5 episodes of the season, right? Now, through this episode, Monet tends to have some flashbacks, excuse me, with her and her kids and how she got everything started with the drug organization. And I believe she's just having regret at the end of the day about what she did to her kids, not letting them want to live their own life, want to make their own decisions, do what they wanted to do for themselves. So this episode kind of ends. Of course, Tariq checks on his mom, etc., make sure she's good. Kind of does a number on her boss outside when she sees how the boss was grabbing on his mom's. Hey, I did the same thing for my moms. I don't know about anybody else listening, but I would have. We also see that, there's a little Kane and Noma have like this interesting power dynamic and struggle because Noma wants to control Kane, but I don't think she wants to control him. I think she wants Kane to just realize that Kane is powerful and he holds the keys. Doesn't need anybody to tell him what to do, when to do it, and how to do it since he's been doing this game for a long time, right? Exactly. That's what he should be doing. We also see towards the end that Monet peeps in on a conversation with Drew and Diana and overhears them basically talking about her, which she doesn't know they're talking about her, but they're basically saying like, listen, what we did, we got to let it go. We got to buy our time and wait to basically try to take her out again. And then we see towards the end, man, Tariq, he gets stranded somewhere. Brayden comes to help him. And then Tariq has an epiphany, man. He's like, yeah, I'm not doing this, man. I'm not working for $11 an hour. I'm not going to minimum wage. We need real money. We need to start pushing product again. And Brayden's like, is that really smart? And Tariq got his mind made up, man. One thing about Tariq, when he got his mind made up, his mind's made up. And that is all that there is to it. We confirm that Diana is indeed pregnant. And she does tell the doctor she does know who the father is, which is insane. But hey, man, we'll get there. And then something interesting happened at the end with Obi, Noma, and Kane. Noma basically yoked Kane up because Kane decided to go make that deal and basically tell the Russians they'll sell them guns, and Noma never agreed to that. And then she asked Kane, why did he do that, etc. Kane basically, says a little joke, and then she tells Obi basically get off of him. And then she tells Obi to dismiss himself and leave them alone. And that is, we're going to roll that over in episode 3. I'm going to just save that, man. Oh, by the way, Tariq gets the whip back, man. And guess who gets picked up by Don Carter? Obi Akiki, man. And that is when the episode ends, right then and there. Oh, almost forgot. The episode doesn't end there, but Tariq and Monet do get into the car. She's trying to figure out who shot her. Tariq says it wasn't him. And then they connected with the Kate Egan who gave the address to Tommy and said it was Monet that gave it to her. And then, man, we roll over into episode 3. And it just gets more and more interesting as we go along. Moving right along into episode 3, man. It's fresh on my mind because I literally watched that before I watched episode 4 the other night. Episode 3 picked up, and it picked up the pace, in my opinion. So, in episode 3, there was a lot that happened, right? And trust me, I'm not going in numerical order. Y'all know me. I never do. I kind of just freestyle. But there's a pivotal moment that I want to get to, right? And this is where I knew that this wasn't going to go exactly the way I predicted or the way I assumed that it would, right? A couple of my predictions came true. First of all, Tariq and Brayden trying to get back into the game, very, very pivotal moment. That was pivotal because he used McLean, which I didn't think that was even going to happen. But McLean, criminal defense attorney, is going to know some things, and he's going to know some people, and he's going to make some things happen for Tariq and Brayden, right? Because he needs money now, too. Since he is no longer a lawyer, he's been disbarred. And not only that, his wife is trying to take half of his shit. So he is on some, I need this money. Effie, of course, playing both sides. Lies to Kane about where she knew about those drugs. Like I said, my prediction is Kane will ultimately be the one that has to take her out. And I'll tell you why when we get into episode 4 and at the end when I give you my prediction about episode 5. We see Obi get pressed by Don Carter a little bit, which I thought was interesting because at first he was doing good till he put the file on the table and said, how do you explain these pictures taken with USA Patrick, etc. But Obi doesn't fold, said he wants his phone call. Who's he call? He calls his brother, man. And what ends up happening is that his brother basically is asking him his whereabouts, and he's like, "Oh, one of your coworkers is here. Whatever." Drew gets on the line, asking, "Where are you?" He tells him you have to come pick me up from the precinct. Drew's like, "What the fuck you doing down there?" Shit. All right, I'll come get you. Now, mind you, like I said, Drew wants to step up as Noma's number 2, and so does Kane. So this is where it gets interesting, right? We roll over into I'm like I told you, I'm freestyling. We got Roman, the guy that is supposed to be the connect, that's supposed to be meeting up with Tariq and Braden and McLean, because McLean is the one that put them together. Basically tells them, like, listen, we're going to meet this dude. You know, they thinking it's going to be smooth. Dude basically tells me, you got enough money for 12 bricks. 15's the minimum. Smacks the money across the room. That was just so crazy. Like, I was just like, yo, this is wild. Like, at that point, I'd have put my hands on bro. Like, yo, man, let me just explain something to you. Like, but sometimes that ain't the best way to go about things. And Tariq and Braden are very, very cool with this dude because they don't know this dude. And I would have done the same thing. Now, there's an interesting moment where Diana ends up lying to Monet, and Diana has a tell. She fidgets with her fingers when she lies, and that was pivotal, and Monet knew that she was lying about Kate Egan. So she just basically gave it a pass, like, oh, okay. But she knows she lied, right? We move over. Obi gets out. Tells Drew not to say anything to Noma, like, oh, man, Obi, you can't expect that, man. And it just so happened that Obi met his fate literally like less than 10 minutes later, where he was basically trying to say, like, you know, Drew outed him like, oh yeah, we got your brother those green cards, etc. No one was like, green cards? I thought you said that, you know, and then basically Obi's like, oh, Tariq, we need Tariq. You said he was smart, this, that, and the third, right? Ends up catching a knife to the neck and dies. Now Noma got no number 2, but we soon figure out who makes her number 2, right? As we keep going, light skin Keisha, that's her, like, I guess her, like, rap name and shit, finds out that Diana's pregnant. Excuse me, I just got a lot going on today, man. Kane and Noma almost went into it, right? They didn't. Effie showed up, stopped that whole train of motion. I thought there was something interesting to happen here too, right? We see Anya and Noma, mother and daughter, getting into a little debacle, a little dispute, right, amongst family. And I'm going to get into my predictions about this towards the end, okay? Episode 3, there wasn't a lot that happened, but there was a lot that happened, if that makes any goddamn sense. Kane ends up setting fire to Roman's supply. Basically, that makes him contact Tariq, and Tariq did a very smart thing as to telling Effie, hey, y'all got a new product, this, that, and the third. Effie said no, brought it to Noma. Noma said take Roman off the board discreetly. They ended up burning up his supply. Now he wants to hire Tariq because his number 2 got roped up, and they need someone to move the work. So that's where Tariq and Braden come in now. They got the job. They're all set. Now they just got to figure out a plan and get this shit done, right? So they can get themselves back on top. But it's never that simple. So towards the end of the episode, we see McLean approach Noma. Basically tells her, like, hey, listen, I got some files for you that basically says that Obi and his brother were away while this was all going on. Basically clearing her because he already knows what happened to Obi. Trust me, you ain't got to say much for them to figure that out. And then Tariq, at the end, they realize, like, yo, everything's going good, everything's going well, but guess what? Pinky gets some info that they was looking for in the beginning of the episode, right? About what happened with the Kate Egan situation, who gave her the address, this, that, and the third. And this is where the scene comes in, right? Pinky basically tells him, check your phone. Tariq sees the video. He said, wait, did you send this to Monet already? Monet's table's her phone is at the table buzzing, right? While they're trying to have a family dinner. She indeed does check the phone. And she's like, Diana, what the fuck did you do? This, that, and the third. Kane's like, what the fuck is this? It sure is Diana with a wig on with red hair, pretending to be Monet, giving Tommy's mom, Kate, the address to where Tasha was. And then what happens? They get into a big family argument, a dispute about basically what she was doing, which, I mean, from the looks of the scene, right, I thought she was going to try to kill them right there, but that didn't happen. It happened later on. Literally, Drew and Diana now on the run for their lives. Kane was going to shoot them at the end, but chose not to. And then, boom, scene cuts off, which brings us over into episode 4, which I literally just finished. And a lot happened in this episode as well. So episode 4 really, really picked up the pace, right? It started off where it left off. Drew and Diana on the run. Monet's pissed off because she just found out that her own kids tried to take her out. There's a lot going on. Drew and Diana on the run. What did they do? Of course, they go to a motel. This is just, what's going to happen now. I predicted this, but I wasn't able to tell you guys that this was a part of my predictions. So, you have Drew and Diana in the motel, literally away from Monet. Now, it's interesting because I was trying to figure out, were they going to, obviously they're going to pay cash. Or one would think that they would pay cash, right? No, that wasn't the case. They pay with card. Okay, this has got to be a mistake. Now you're setting yourselves up, right? Boom. Who enters the room? Monet. Now, Tariq, on the other, simultaneously as this happens, before this happened, actually, he was looking for Diana. And Kane was like, yeah, they got to go. Shoots over to where I'm at now, the motel scene. Monet pulls up on them basically, and Drew eviscerates his mother in this room verbally. Oh my gosh, man. I was so happy somebody finally told her the truth about what's going on. Excuse me, I need a water break, man. I've been talking for a while. Drew eviscerates her, basically tells her, hey, listen, we never wanted this life. You chose this life for us. We wanted to have our own thing, but you were so big on this is for the family, this and that. He brought up Zeke getting killed. He brought up them killing their father. He brought up him having to kill Gordo, his love interest. And she's like, man, not another word, Drew. Diana pushes her on the bed. They get out. They get away. Kane shoots up the car. And this, I predicted that Kane was shooting at somebody high level, and that was wrong. So Kane was shooting at them, and I thought the car was bulletproof till I seen the bullet holes later on as they pull up to where? Who? Salim's house. Now, listen. In my prediction, I said, yo, Salim is either a cop or he's a drug dealer, right? That was I was going with cop, right? That's just what my mind was thinking. Diana stays there. Drew goes over and he's trying to go to the stash, right? Man, oh man. He goes over and basically runs into Kane there. And Kane was like, man, you shouldn't have told me about this. He's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't have tried. You probably shouldn't have did that. And you shouldn't have tried to kill our mom. Drew eviscerated him verbally, too. Got Kane in his feelings. Made Kane basically confess, hey, listen, yeah, I wanted Dad to see me. I wanted him to realize that I could run the business. You ain't shit, pretty much. You are pussy. You not built for this. You didn't even want this life. Why would he give it to you, right? And that was big. Because I wasn't expecting that from Kane. But Drew's basically telling him, hey, man, why you keep giving Ma a pass? Why does she get a pass? Why is it that you never want to put a bullet in her but everybody else? And Kane is basically, I understood where Kane was coming from because he's like, yo, pretty much what he was saying was that, yo, even though I wanted to show Dad that I belonged in charge after him, Mom robbed me of that because, yeah, he killed our brother. And then I didn't go after her after that. It just so happened that's how the way it played out, but I didn't try to take her out. That was the difference. And Kane is basically saying, nigga, I'm more loyal than you. Look at what you did versus what I did and how I chose to go about the situation, right? And lo and behold, yes, Diana does end up leaving Salim's. He gives her the keys to his mom and pop's place in Connecticut. gives her the card, tells her, hey, go out the back. I ain't gonna tell nobody you was here. You good with me, this, that, and the third, right? Okay, then literally, who enters the house? Like, who knocks on the door? Knock, knock. Who's there, nigga? Me. Tariq walk in. Hey, yo, where Diana at? Because, of course, he had Pinky, which I predicted this, but I didn't get to tell y'all. That Pinky was going to be the reason why Tariq was going to find out everything. Now, Pinky's an interesting character, man. I ain't going to stay on the subject of this individual too long. I'm gonna just say this. Pinky got the abilities to find anybody and get any information that you may or may not need. I don't know what Pinky's tapped in and dialed into, but that mofo can find anything. And he's damn sure found out where Diana was hiding up and shacked out at, which posed Tariq to pull up on Salim's crib like, yo, where's she at? Salim wasn't trying to give up the info. This is where we seen in the infamous clip where Tariq grabs up Salim and he basically presses him like, yo, where's Diana at? He's like, I don't know where she is. She was here, but she left. Tariq pulls the gun out. He's like, hey, man. He's like, no, name, don't play Captain Save-A-Ho right now, nigga. Tell me where she at. He don't want to tell him. As soon as Tariq cocked the gun, oh, my goodness. Salim gave up the information because he was petrified. And Tariq was like, see? You see how easy it was to bitch up? Salim tries to get bucked. They start tussling. What happened? Salim gets popped on accident. Tariq wasn't even trying to do all that, man. But you pressed the issue, you caught a bullet. Now, is Salim dead? That, I think we'll find out in the next episode. But if I had to guess, he gone, man. Like, he in the crib, unless somebody heard the gunshots, ran in and they saved his life at the last minute, which could happen. And then Salim could end up identifying Tariq, and that could get Tariq roped up at the end, which would be super crazy. But I highly doubt that. So then later on, we see Tariq ends up pulling up on Diana. But before we get there, Drew tries to go get money from the stash house at their grocery store, right? Pulls up there to get the money. Kane pulls up on him because they got the text while he was at an event with Noma that, listen, somebody is Drew's here. So he pulls up on Drew, basically confronts him. His mom calls him. Kane's like, man, I could kill this nigga right now. Mom's like, no, I need to talk to Diana because remember, Monet got the word from Aunt Janice that, listen, you can't even see it, but your own daughter's pregnant. So now Monet is like, nah, I got to save my daughter. I need to save my family. I got a grandbaby and shit. You feel me? So Kane's like, hey, man, I could kill him right now, Ma. She's like, nah, put him on the phone. She basically tells Drew, hey, listen, I need to know where Diana is right now because Tariq is on his way. I'm trying to save her, this, that, and the third. Drew says, tells her where she's at. Tariq pulls up at the house in Connecticut, right? Oh, my. Pulls up at the crib. Basically was going to kill Diana, send her to the sky boss. He's like, why shouldn't I? She was like, because she's pregnant. Therese like, what that got to do with me? And literally, she's like, it's yours. I predicted this, but like I said, I've been so busy doing, I didn't get to tell you guys all this. But I got predictions for episode 5, man. Stay with me. Stay tuned to the end. Therese looking at her like, it's mine. Bro, at first, I couldn't believe it either because I'm like, nah. And then I'm like, yeah, it's all making sense of what I thought. This is why he saves her. He spares her because she's pregnant with his child. Tariq ends up dipping off. Monet and Diana do something I haven't seen them do in a while. They hug. They embrace each other, man. Like, it's beautiful to see them be able to just put their differences aside for the sake of the baby and just be able to just be a family, right? Come together and just make shit work. Tariq ends up pulling up on Brayden at basically their drug poetry in motion, right? And gets the whole scoop on what's going on, how Brayden's running the business, what's going on. And I'm telling you, these dudes are intelligent, man. They running this shit through a t-shirt and water bottle covert operation pretty much through a show which Brayden's girl headlines, right? And this is what I'm going to tell you about. I'll say that for the end. So he basically finds out how everything's working, how it's going on, what's going on, right? And then Therese like, okay. And Brayden's like, basically, hey, man, we could be up and running business without no one ever even finding out what's going on. And Therese like, all right, shit, bet. Now, what happens at the end? Exactly what I thought. Tariq and Anya end up running into each other there. Tariq sees her and immediately knows who she is. Because remember, Effie sent him the profile and said, this is what she looks like now, if you remember that in season 3. Tariq goes over, says, hey, whatever she's drinking, I'm buying. The girl says, Anya says, I could buy my own drink. He said, yeah, but I can see that, but why should you? And she says, I'm Anya. He says, nice to meet you, Anya. And then the episode cuts, man. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And in the trailer clip, which I may just react. Nah, man, let's just do it right now. F it. So in the trailer clip, right? Brayden, you hear him voiceover and says, "Hey, you should leave Anya alone because we don't need no more snooping around. This, that, and the third." If I had to guess, and I'm just predicting, right? Episode 5, Anya and Tariq gonna get kind of closer. Maybe not right away, but they gonna get close, right? Because Anya doesn't know what Tariq does, who he is, how he's connected, how he knows her mother, right? Excuse me, another water break. Anya has no clue, so this would be the time for Tariq to use Anya pretty much to get and find out what's going on with Noma. Not saying he's gonna get that information from Anya per se, but this will keep Noma from putting a bullet in his head if she finds out about his business. Because guess what? If Tariq starts dating Anya out of nowhere, let's just say, because he does have a kid on the way, then guess what? Noma won't be able to touch him for the sake of her daughter. Now, also in episode 5, I seen Monet shooting at a vehicle with an assault rifle. I thought that was very interesting too, because I'm trying to figure out, like, what is going on, man. Like, it's definitely picking up, and I expect it to. Don Carter's still going to be doing what he's doing, running around trying to capture everybody, man. This dude just a Cape Crusader with a badge. It's crazy, man. He's literally like the Dark Knight. So, not only that, in that trailer clip, I've seen a lot going on in a little bit amount of time, but there's something interesting was said by Monet. She said Tariq is the reason why this family almost split up the first time, this, that, and the third. And I'm sitting here, well, like, oh, Tariq is a child's father. You about to try to exile him and get him killed? Because that don't seem right to me. That's not sitting right. Something not right about that. And I would hope that that's not the case. I would like for that not to happen. But come on, man, this is power. Anything can happen. And like Effie told Tariq in episode 4, you really thought you and the Tejadas were homies for life? You should know this game is not about trust and loyalty. Like, bro, Tariq got to be smarter, man. And I think Effie just will open his eyes up to, like, don't trust nobody. Have your own back and watch out for you. And Tariq need to do that. I'm going to predict episode 5 real quick, man, so just stay with me. I'm banking my money, right? Drew and somebody else end up getting stopped by Don Carter and his partner. If I had to guess, Don Carter kills somebody in front of Drew Tejada. Lets him know that he's serious and means business. I'm just guessing here. Just guessing. Monet is going to tell them that they need to take Tariq out or get a way to a plan to get Tariq from off the board. And I think, truthfully, Diana might be on board with that. For some reason, like, if I'm Tariq, I don't trust none of them at the end of the day, man, because they tried to get you clipped. They basically try to take you out, homie. So you got to do what you got to do to defend yourself. I do think we'll get some development with McLean's character. You know, we'll see some things happen. Maybe he does become a lawyer again. Who knows, right? I'm hoping he does, because then he could defend them. Because all this shit, I feel like, is going to come back to bite them later on. Like I said, we don't know if Salim's dead or not. I think we'll get confirmation this next episode. But if we don't, if they don't even bring him up, if nothing happens, then they'll save him for part 2. And he will be a valuable asset to probably taking down Tariq and the whole organization for Tariq trying to kill him. Basically, that's attempted murder. And he was questioning where Diana was. But who knows how that's all going to play out. I do think that in episode 5, Don Carter is going to get farther with some things. I do believe that he's going to be able to get some information from a valuable individual, right? And who knows, he might even find out about Pinky. That might be the link to getting Tariq done up. There's just a lot that could happen. There's a lot that happened from episode 1 to 4. But the pivotal pieces that we got to remember is Don Carter is on the board now with Kamal. And I think he's going to try to get Kamal Tate from out of his, like, you know what I'm saying, task force are like trying to help him out and stuff, but he gonna use him and bleed him for every little information that he has before sending him off on his way. McLean is now involved in the drug game, right? He's the one that put the connect together for Tariq. Tariq's giving him a cut, of the money. Monet and Tariq and Drew, Effie, and all them, they're no longer trying to kill each other now. Monet's trying to put her family back together, trying to make them whole again. But guess what? Kane already told Drew, hey, as far as you and Diana, y'all out the game with Noma. Kane's her number 2. And I'm going to just say this now, right? Or should I just save this for the... Nah, I'm going to save it, man. I think I gave y'all a lot here in these past, 30 some odd minutes. But listen, man, let me know what you think. Drop your comments on what you believe will happen in episode 5 and in the second half of the season. Okay? I'm just going to guess some major players are going to die in the, season finale, the other half, right? Like Michael Rainey Jr. said, a.k.a. Tariq, he said that the ending is going to shake the room. Now, shake the room could be a lot of things, man. That could be Tariq dying. That could be Tariq going to jail. That could be Ghost coming back, which, all the fans would love. It could be a number of things, man. But we got to remember, this is power. Anything could happen in the universe of power, man. That's what I love about this show. You never know what is going to take place. Anyway, drop your comments down below. Give a like on the video if you are feeling generous. Always subscribe if you're feeling generous as well. You don't have to. Not a requirement over here. And just make sure that you lock in and buckle up for next Friday, man, because you know what? Now that I've recapped 1 through 4, I'm all caught up. Everything, everybody knows everything now. We all know what's going on. If you don't, go back and watch 1 through 4. If you got Stars or Prime Video or you got the bootlegs, man, go watch and tune in and figure out what the hell you think is going to happen in episode 5 and the second half of the show. Once again, I'm Conspiracy Kai signing off. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.